Live stream with me, Manil, here on Unacademy's IELTS YouTube channel. Now, today's lesson will discuss what are the word limits that you need to follow and what are the rules involved with these word limits. Now, before I get started, let me first introduce myself. Right, my name is Manil Agarwal. I am an Unacademy Plus educator. So what is a Plus educator? Plus educator is a person who offers structured lessons on the Unacademy app where these lessons are taught as part of a course. So Unacademy Plus is something where instead of just watching random, unstructured, unorganized videos, you go through a proper coaching for your IELTS test just as you would go through at any other academy. The difference, of course, being that this you can do from wherever you are, the convenience of your home, right? Be it morning, be it afternoon, be it evening. So it's a lot more convenient, right? To top it off, once you join the Unacademy Plus service, which is a subscription based service, so you pay a fees and then you join the service, you get to not only just learn with me, but you also get to learn with all the other educators who are teaching for IELTS. So if you need to know more, let's say there is something I'm not being able to teach you, or maybe there's something that I don't cover, but you want to learn, there'll be another educator who might be covering it for you. So you can always go learn with this individual. So that is the beauty and advantage of the IELTS Unacademy, of the Unacademy Plus platform for IELTS. Right. So before we come to the word limit, to give you a little idea of what are the courses that I teach two courses, right? So one is the grammar course. Now this course is of course for students who are weak, right? And look, as much as you may try. Hey, I've been good, Ben. How are you? How are you? Seeing you after a while. How's the preparation coming along? Right. So for weak students, grammar is a must, right? Look, you could memorize a million words. If you do not know your grammar, you will not score well on the IELTS test. So one is my grammar course and the other is my IELTS course. So what is the IELTS course? Well, it covers listening, reading, writing and speaking. So this is for 3 weeks and this too is for 3 weeks. Classes are 1 hour each and Monday to Friday, right? And same here. 1 hour each and Monday to Friday. So my next one's coming up. The next round of classes is starting soon. I recommend that you sign up now, okay, so that you do not miss out on any of these lessons. It's always best that you start right at the beginning rather than somewhere in the middle, right? So use my code IELTS by Manil to get a 10% discount when you subscribe to Unacademy Plus, which is 2,700 per month, right? But if you use my code, it comes down to 2,430 per month, right? Anyways, now coming back to the topic at hand. Oh, excellent, Ben. Lovely. That sounds excellent. I look forward to seeing you over there. Wonderful. That's great news. Chalo, I didn't know that you were personally planning to teach yourself. I thought you were somebody who's planning to appear for the test. But that's great. Wonderful. Great news. So coming to the topic at hand today. Our topic at hand today is word limits. Right? So word limits are applicable to 2 of the questions that you answer on the whole test. And they're both for the writing section. Right? So for task 1 and for task 2, right? Now, for those of you who have appeared for the test, have any experience with the test, you would know that for task 1, you're expected to write minimum 150 words, okay? And that for task 2, you're expected to write a minimum of 250 words. Now, the rule is that if you write 149, or here if you write 249, the most you will score is band 5.5 on both. Even if your response be so beautiful, so wonderful, so creative in itself that the examiner goes like, whoa, what a wonderful answer. If you write 149 and 249, they will not score you more than band 5.5. Why? Because that's the rule, right? You have to write minimum 150 words and you have to write a minimum of 250 words. So let's understand how I mean this how do we really how does it affect you? Okay, how does it affect you in terms of your overall band score calculation? So for both task 1 and task 2, there are net 4 factors that affect your overall band score. Okay, so there is task achievement, right? This is task 1, or there is task response. This is for task 2. Rest is common. There is coherence and cohesion. Then there is lexical resource. And then there is grammar range and accuracy, right? So these are the 4 parameters along which they calculate your band score. Now, let's understand what each of these are, right? Grammar range and accuracy is your ability to show that you can make sentence structures, various sentence structures. So a lot of people are just stuck on the fact that I need to make complex sentences, but that's really not how it happens, right? It's a mix of things. Then your tenses, parts of speech, so on and so forth, right? And then also on top of it, whether you can use all of these accurately or not. So it's not just that I know everything. You should also know that I know these things, but I know these well, right? Then there's a lexical resource, so which is vocabulary. Again, please stop going berserk around your vocabulary. Paraphrasing, right? Then there is idioms, and then finally there is collocations, right? What are each of these? Well, you'll understand them as and when we get to them. Then there is coherence and cohesion. What is coherence and cohesion? One is logical. Next, it is in sort of the correct order. Everything is in the correct order. It makes sense. Everything's like so cohesive. Everything's linked. Your ideas are linked to each other, and that you've done your paragraphing properly. Okay. And then there is task achievement or response. So the first thing to check is minimum 150 words or minimum 250 words, depending on which task you're responding to, right? Then there is whether you have answered the question or not. So in terms of question 1, you've written to the point. It's not that you've been answering something else, right? And in terms of task 2, whether the question that has been actually asked of you, whether that has been answered or not. Examples in case of task 2, all right? And then whether you've developed your points or not. Okay, so these are the parameters along which they calculate your band score. So how exactly does it work? Now let's say you are someone who has very good command over the language, right? You can make every kind of sentence. Not that you know whether you're making every kind of sentence or not, but you invariably end up making. For example, you can say something like eating green vegetables can be a very beneficial practice for people with, let's say, a weak immune system. Now this is a simple sentence, right? But at the same time, you're somebody who can also make something. Eating green vegetables can be eating green vegetables and reducing the amount of sugar consumed can be very beneficial for people with weak immune systems. Now this is a compound sentence. And then there's something like eating green vegetables and eating green vegetables can be very beneficial for people with a weak immune system because it helps provide the nutrients that makes your immunity stronger. So that's a complex sentence. So let's say you can make all of these. So you'll score well for that. Okay. Then tenses. So you can use simple, past, present, perfect, continuous, simple, right? Parts of speech, nouns, pronouns, adjectives, verbs, so on and so forth. The thing is, you can use all of this accurately. So let's say you've done this beautifully. You're wonderful, right? You're somebody who's come from a public school where English was taught, where everything was taught in English. So you probably already have excellent command on the language. So you can get all of this right in and you have no problem whatsoever. Next, let's say your vocabulary is up to the mark. Again, I never say vocabulary has to be something which is a bombshell, just regular vocabulary, everyday vocabulary. And then, of course, on the basis of your strengths, where do you stand? Okay. And then you can paraphrase well. You know your idioms. Even if you don't, it's fine. You know your collocations. What are collocations? Again, you bake a cake, you paint a painting, not draw a painting. You draw a drawing, you don't paint a drawing. Okay. You don't make a painting, you paint a painting. So those are all collocations. So using the correct verb for the object. So all of this is also up to the mark, right? You're logical. Whatever you've written makes sense. You followed the correct order. So there is an introduction, there's a main body, then there's a conclusion. Even within the main body, sort of how you've written your main body is in the correct order. Everything is linked. It's not that ideas are flowing here and there. Everything that you've sort of written has been written to support the main points, not that just random stuff out of nowhere. Paragraphing is up to the mark. You've developed your points, okay? You've given your examples, you've given your experiences, you've answered the question at hand, you covered all the points, but you've written 148 or 149 words, okay? So everything is up to the mark, but you've written 148, 149 words. What will happen? You will score band 5.5 and no more. In fact, let me tell you how do they actually check your work. The very first thing that the examiner will do is pick up your answer sheet and start counting the words that you've written on the answer sheet. And they do not count, okay, first line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then they don't go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 2 8s are 160. Okay, 150 word count met. No, that is not how they take a word count. They count every word. They count every word in every line. Okay, and everything counts. Your small words, your big words, everything counts. Everything that you have written counts. The very first thing they will do is take a word count and write it down. Now, if it is not 150 words, if it is not 150 words, they will straight away mark your essay 5.5. Now hereforth, they will probably score you on everything, right? They'll probably score you on everything. They'll give you the accurate band score for each of these, but then at the end, they will still write band 5.5, minimum word count not met. Okay, in most cases they will not even care to probably do so. I don't know, I'm not an examiner, I'm only sharing with you what I've gathered from some people who are in the know of these things, right? In most cases they will probably not even read to see if you deserve a 6. They will only read to see whether they should drop your band score to 4.5, right? That is why they will then check your work thereafter. So that is how important word count is for your IELTS answer. Now I have heard this argument, okay? I've heard a counter argument. I've also heard a few idiots say that, you know what, there are new rules which allow you to write only 200 words for task 2 and they will give you absolute nonsense, right? Please do not listen to these idiots. They have no clue what they're talking about. At least there is no official word as of till date, because I heard a couple of people say this to me at an academy, right, a local academy around here, and not a couple of guys, just this one person. Unluckily, he seemed to be telling this to students as well, right, which was very sad because I haven't really been able to find an official document from IELTS which says that you can write 200 words and it's okay. So no, that is not fine. Well, a more relevant argument that I've heard is some people saying that, you see, if you write 249 words, say maybe 248 words, but overall your essay is up to the mark, they might, not even may, they might, okay? They might just overlook the fact that you've not written 250 words, right? But here's my counter argument. Do you really want to risk everything for 2 words? Okay, it's not very difficult to add 2 words to your essay. You could go find a couple of places where you could add a and the, even if it is wrong. I mean, I would say even if it is wrong, it's a minor error, right? It will not affect your score as much as not writing 250 words. So add those words wherever possible. Okay, and then take it forward from there, right? So what we are doing is we are ensuring that the band score that we need is closer, and not that because of our laziness and wherein we will not write two words. Okay, just because we will not write these two words, we'll put everything at risk. Okay, see, the IELTS test is a very expensive test. You're spending approximately 20,000 rupees per attempt. Okay, for there are a few who do not end up spending as much. They just pay the fee and whatever cost they entail and getting to and from the center, and that's it. But those are very few. For most students, there is a fee involved for appearing for the test. Then there are a lot of people who have to travel from point A to point B, which entails a travel cost to appear for the test. Then there is coaching cost. There's the cost of buying books. There is time, right? The most important thing for a lot of people, there is time involved. So you can't be ki अरे चलो कोई बात नहीं हुआ next attempt, right? Probably a batch, your ability to get enrolled into a particular batch is gone, maybe forever, right? So we don't want to risk things on the back of two words, right? One or two words. So each time you write a task one answer or you write a task two response, please, please, please meet the minimum required word count, which I repeat, for task one is minimum 150 words, and for task two is minimum 250 words. Okay? Do not write any less than that. Now, that is what I had to say about word counts. But how do we meet those word counts? Okay, so how do we ensure that each time we are writing, we meet the word count? So for that, there's a very standardized format that you can follow. Okay, there is a certain breakup that you can follow in terms of the paragraphs that you will be writing, what to include in each paragraph, how to write in each paragraph, and if you can understand this once, right, each time you attempt writing your answer, you are bound to score to write 250 words without fail. Most of my students who've learned this format end up writing more than 300 words each time, right? And in fact, I have to sort of curtail them because the highest you want to probably write is 320 words. You don't want to go beyond that. And but this format is so clear, it is so clean, it is so crisp that if you follow this, you're bound to write 300 words each time. Okay, so this format is something that I teach as part of my IELTS course on the Unacademy Plus platform. Right? So like I said, I have two courses. There is one course which is the grammar course. Now the grammar course is for weak students, right? And then the other course that I have is the IELTS course, right? So this IELTS course is split into three sub courses. Okay, so first one is the listening and speaking course. Then there is the reading course, and then there is the writing course. Right? So this writing course discusses this format in detail. It goes all the way into what to write, how to write, what not to write, what should be the approximate word count for each paragraph, and everything. Okay. So if you want to learn this format, which I highly recommend you do, I recommend you join me on Unacademy Plus. Okay, and to join this course on this platform, all you have to do is you have to download the app. Okay, once you download the app, you subscribe to Unacademy Plus. You make sure you choose your goal as IELTS, right? And then on there, once you start subscribing, now if you're somebody whose English is good, I recommend you join for a month. If you're somebody who is weak, I recommend you join for 3 months. So if you're joining for a month, the fees is 2,700 rupees. And if you're joining for 3 months, the fees is 6,600 rupees. But you use this code IELTS, IELTS, right? It's IELTS, guys. It's not IELTS. There is no such test as IELTS. It is IELTS, IELTS, IELTS by Manil, right? And this will give you a 10% discount. Okay, and you use this 10% discount, and this brings down your fees to 2,430 and 5,940. Okay, I don't think you can have a more affordable prep for your IELTS test anywhere else. So I truly hope that I'll see you on Unacademy Plus, and that we will learn how to respond to the writing task 2 together as well as to writing task 1 together, right? I'll see you on the next video, hopefully not here, right? I mean, of course, if you want, I have many more classes scheduled right here. But look, these are just snippets. These are just short videos. They don't go into the depth. I also do free lessons on the app itself. So definitely download the app and see me on the app. All right. Until next time, keep practicing. And remember, for IELTS, keep it simple and stick to the basics. Goodbye.